With the new GT Online DLC that came out March 4th, we got 4 new purchasable vehicles, 3 of those being new aircrafts and 1 of them being a new car. So in this video, I'm going to go over some pros, cons, and whether or not you should purchase them. So I'm first going to start off with the absolute worst thing you could buy with this DLC. It is one of the 3 aircrafts and it is the Duster 300H. This goes for $1,020,000, or you can get it at a trade price of $765,000. But the trade price for this one is a little bit different, as the trade price you actually have to deliver weapons in the Duster 300H for Oscar as part of arms trafficking to unlock the trade price, compared to the DH7 Iron Mule and the Titan 250D, where you just complete the Titan job and you get the trade price. But this plan is 100% not worth it. For a buy now price of 1 mil, it's not good at all. It seats 1 person. It's not that fast. All you can customize is engine handling. You can put a livery on it. You can put countermeasures, and it's weaponized. But guess what? It's only machine guns, and machine guns won't do anything nowadays. When you compare this to something like the Rogue, which you can get for 200,000 more, it's a complete waste. The Rogue seats 2. You can put explosive cannons on the Rogue, which is 10 times better than any machine gun. You can get homing and non-homing missiles. You can get countermeasures, bombs, livery, color, everything. You can completely do way more with the Rogue, which makes this plane just completely obsolete. The design isn't that bad. It doesn't look too bad, but when you compare it to something like the Rogue, it's not worth it. You can only put machine guns on it, so it makes it even more not worth it. I was really hoping when I saw weaponized, you would be able to add missiles and explosive cannons like the Rogue, but unfortunately that is not the case, which makes it 100% not worth it for this one. Now we're going to take a break from the planes. I'm going to save the 250D for last. We got the Coquette D5, obviously based off a C6 Corvette. This one goes for $1,730,000, or it is free for GTA Plus members. I'm a little iffy about this one because I think it's cool. I like the looks. I don't think the performance is bad. I think it's decent. It handles decent, accelerates decent, has a decent speed. But when it comes to customization, it was kind of a letdown for me. And that roof just staying that ugly black color really, really is annoying. I really wish you were able to paint match it in at least some way. At least make it just black, or remove it, or primary color. So when it comes to that, it's really annoying. For $1,730,000, I don't really know if it is a worthy price. I feel like they could have knocked some money off of it. Once again, $1,730,000 isn't a bad price for cars nowadays. But when you look at like something like the Banshee GTS, that's 1.9 mil, almost 2 mil, and it is arguably a way better performing car and a way better looking car. This isn't a bad car. I'm not saying it's a bad car, but some things you will be kind of let down with it, and the rear taillights are actually really bright at night, which is like a weird like complaint, but I realize that. But I do have a full customization on this car. If you want to check out the customization and everything else, I'll have that linked down below. But do you buy this one? If you're a car collector and you love Corvettes, 100%. If you're looking for a performance car with good customization too, I say stay away, because that black roof might steer a lot of people away, and I think it already does. Now we are going to be moving on to the DH7 Iron Mule, the Cargo Bob Killer. This has a buy now price of $2,345,000, or a trade price of $1,758,750. And let me tell you, this thing is a grinder's like dream. It is the most perfect helicopter you could ever think of, or cargo bob you could ever think of. We used to think the cargo bob was so cool. Well, you can pick up cars and you can pick up a tank. Well, this thing knocks it out of the water in literally everything possible. You can add liveries, you can upgrade the engine, upgrade the handling, and you can add countermeasures to this thing, which makes it even more worth it. As cargo bob, you can't do any of that. This is a personal vehicle, obviously, so it's not a Pegasus vehicle, so you can't just spawn it in wherever. But when we talk in performance to the Cargo Bob, not only can it lift more, It can lift tanks with no problems, Conjali's with no problems, Insurgents with no problem. It is so much faster. It accelerates faster, it climbs faster, it lowers faster. It's overall just better. Not to keep in mind that the fact that it can carry more means that you can pick something up. It's faster, which means you can pick something up that's heavier, that it's more capable of, and fly so much quicker. That's where cell missions will come in handy. Now, with my testing, which was weird, because I saw that it's obviously capable of picking an insurgent up. I saw that bunker cell missions, like the one where you get the insurgents, they can easily pick it up. But in my testing, I got actually a monster truck and it couldn't pick it up. So what I'm assuming is it can just pick up certain cell missions ones. Along with my testing, I also found out that it can't pick up nightclub cell missions, which is kind of a shame, but the nightclub cell missions aren't the hardest. A big shame about this, actually, though, is it can't pick up any MC business cell cars, so you can't pick up post-op van, which really sucks because it takes just like 5 minutes to just fly or drive to the city. So being able to hook it up to this thing would just make it so much easier. But Rockstar, that you're not allowed to do that. But it can pick up secure serve vehicle warehouse cars, so that makes it so much easier. But we got to talk about the size. This thing is massive, which makes it so much harder to pick things up. The rotors and just overall the size on this thing is it's ginormous. So it won't fit into tighter spots like the Cargo Bob would. So you do have to be more open in the area. But besides the size, this is fantastic, and it's awesome to see an upgraded Cargo Bob. I do wish that they came out with a little bit better of a Cargo Bob, because the Cargo Bob wasn't bad. It's just the armor wasn't there and all that stuff. But let's get into some pros and just cons to end this section off for the DH7 Iron Mule. So let's talk about some pros. Obviously, it is a very fast helicopter. It is way faster than the Cargo Bob ever was or ever will be. Very fast. It picks up tanks very easily, and it's not that expensive. When you look at the price, you get the trade price, which I recommend going for both the 250D and this one. When you look at the trade price, $1,758,000 is actually cheaper, or around the same price as a Cargo Bob is. So why would you buy a Cargo Bob for this one? Just buy the Mackenzie Field hangar, get the trade price, and get this one for cheaper. So when it comes to that, get the trade price. So it's not that expensive. Some cons, it can flip easily. It's hard to get like in back. So like a weird thing, you can drop the back of helicopters and planes, but you can't go in. You can go in, but it's really hard to get into, which is really annoying. And it can't carry cargo, which means it can't carry MC cargo. You can only carry the vehicles or the CEO vehicles and some bunker cell mission cars. So when it comes to that, it is a shame. But when it comes to just buying it, you decide for yourself. Is this going to really help you make more money, or is it just going to cost you more money in the end? I always recommended having a Cargo Bob because I feel like they're always very useful in some cases. And now with this one, I feel like it is just 10 times better to have this one over a Cargo Bob, or just have one just in case. But it is up to you if you want this one. My opinion, I say buy one. But if you don't think you'll benefit from one, don't buy one. Moving on to the final vehicle that was added, we have the Titan 250D, which goes for $4,870,000, or a trade price of $3,652,500. Obviously, everybody knows this is based off of an AC-130, but I have a little bone to pick about this, as it is, to me, a major letdown. But let's go over a little bit about it. It is the fastest plane in terms of the big planes. So when you compare it to the slow ass Bombushka, which should have never been added, but we're not talking about when it comes to the Bombushka and the original Titan. it is faster than both, which I would hope as you can upgrade the engine and the handling and everything. So I would hope it's way faster than that. But yeah, like I said, customization for this thing is exactly like the Iron Mill. You got liveries, engines, color, countermeasures, and cell, and that's it. But what else would you add? I don't know. Maybe the option to increase the range on the weapons, as it's a huge letdown. So there's 3 weapons on the 250D. It says it can seat 16 people. Same with the Iron Meal. I forget to mention that 16 people can sit in it. But yeah, talking about weapons, you have a 105 millimeter. It's a one shot. Has an 8-second cooldown. It has a max range of 500 meters. It has a max damage at the center of 1,000. Damage at the edge is 100, and the blast radius is about 20 meters, which is so pretty much what I'm saying is if you're at the edge of the explosion, it'll do 100 damage. If you're at the center, it'll do 1,000. And then you have a 40 millimeter cannon. This one has 5 shots compared to the 105, which only has 1 shot and an 8-second cooldown. This has 5 shots and a reload time of 6 seconds. It has a fire rate of 120 RPM, a max range of 300 meters. Damage at the edge is 80. Damage at the center is 450, and the blast radius is 2.5 meters. And then finally, the last one is the 25 millimeter, which has a reload time of 4 seconds. Mag size is 30. The rate of fire is 480 RPM. Max range of 300 meters. The damage at the center is 250. Damage at the edge is 500. And the blast radius is 2 meters. So you might be saying, well, damn, that thing packs a punch. No, you're wrong. This is a completely useless vehicle for anybody who plays the game solo, as you can't use all of them solo. You're stuck as a solo player to only being able to use the 40 millimeter cannon. It's not bad, but the range isn't good. That's a big gripe for me, because this thing is awesome looking. If you play with friends all the time, this is definitely something cool to get, as you can easily grief people with it. If you're a solo player, it's not worth it. But the cannon, they don't reach far, which is really annoying, because in real life, AC-130s sit around 7,000 feet or 2,100 meters in the sky. Now, let's put this into perspective, right? If you're flying in this giant plane with this crazy weaponry on it, you're not going to want to fly low to the ground because, now you can get shot down. You're going to want to sit super far up. Well, that's not the case for GTA. You have to be close to the ground. You can't sit in the sky like a real AC-130 does. Now, you can say, yeah, it's a video game, but it's next gen. PC has enhanced now. Most of us are on PS5 and Xbox Series X/S. You can easily make the range of the weapons way further. Now, a complaint I have is because if you're using this solo, you're stuck to the 40 mil cannon, which, yes, has the 25 and the 40 shoot the same distance, which doesn't make 100% sense. But what sucks is you're playing solo, which means you're stuck to the one weapon, 40. You can't go to the 105, which has the bigger range and the more damage. So as a solo player, it's completely useless, like I said. But it's a shame because this thing is awesome. It's so cool. But it's just such a letdown at the same time. Keep in mind, you also can't put vehicles on the back, but I think it's just a thing where you have to take countermeasures and livery off to do it, like some other vehicles. But getting in some pros and cons, some pros. It has the 3 different guns, the 40, the 25, the 105. So it has a variety. It has good back armor. It's the fastest large plane. And the trade price is pretty good. You can save about $1 million in the trade price. What I mean by good back armor is this can take about 12 missiles before completely blowing up. 6 to 8 will kind of stall the engines, and you'll kind of just go in kind of like a free fall type way. But 12 rockets, I'm pretty sure, and this thing completely blows up. The Iron Mule takes like 6. But what I mean by good back armor is, going on to the cons, is it has a weak front armor. the front can take about like 2 or 3 missiles before blowing up, where the back actually takes 12. So it's kind of weird. It's a kind of a weird thing that happens. Um, when it comes to being able to take one down, they're actually very easy to take down, as you know, the weapons are only on the left side. Forgot to mention that. So they're not on both sides, they're only on the left. So that comes into play when you're lining up for a shot. Make sure you fly it exactly horizontal too, because if you're at a little bit of an angle, your shots get messed up and whatever. But all you have to do to take it down is go on the right side, and they can't do anything to you. But there's another glitch that like kicks you out of, like, if you're like playing with other people and you're in the back and you try to switch weapons, it'll just kick you out. So it is a glitch. Hopefully it gets fixed. The ramp is useless in the back, like I said. Once again, pilot can only shoot the 40 mil. I feel like that's a big downside. If I'm paying all this money for this plane and I'm a solo player, I want to be able to use every single weapon. And the gun range is too low. I already talked about that. I wish the gun range was bigger. But yeah, that's the AC-130. Do I recommend buying it? No. If you're a solo player, I say stay away from this as much as you can. Unless you're a solo player who already has every business, who already has everything they want, and just wants something to have fun in, this is definitely something to get if you're a solo player and you're completely set. But if you're new and starting, I recommend to stay away. It's not a bad plane. It really isn't. But there is some cons that I wish were fixed with it. But if you play with friends a lot, this is definitely a cool thing to own. But yeah, it's a weird plane. It has its flaws. It has its good things about it. But you make the decision. The price isn't that bad with trade price. Trade price, it's a little under 4 mil. And normal price it's almost 5 mil. So if you're gonna buy it, I really recommend going for that trade price. I recommend going for the trade price for both of them, actually, for the Iron Mule and for the 250D, as you can get an Iron Mule for cheaper than a Cargo Bob instead of paying almost 2.4, and you can get a 250D for over $1 million off. So definitely go for the trade price. But I don't recommend buying one if you're solo. I do recommend if you're solo and don't have anything else to buy and you're pretty set. I also do recommend if you have the money and you play with friends a lot. But you make the decision for yourself, considering the pros and the cons and whether it will be useful to you or not. Also, if you guys are wondering if you should buy the Mackenzie Field Hanger, I have a complete guide on that in a separate video. I'll link that one down below too, where I go over the complete missions, how to do them effectively, kind of what you should do, what you shouldn't do, and how you can make more money off of it, and whether the business is worth it or not. So if you're wondering if you should buy that one, I'll have that linked down below. So PC got extended and enhanced. So I wanted to go over just a couple vehicles new that they get added with this. One of them is the Coil Cyclone, which goes for 2.3 mil, and obviously most people know it's based off of a Rimac. It is a fully electric car with crazy acceleration, but let me tell you, this is probably the most shit car I've ever driven that is 2.3 mil. It is so bad, it's not even crazy. It handles like crap. There's like no grip to it. The top speed isn't even that good. The only good thing is really the acceleration. But yeah, this one is a car that you really don't want to buy. So please stay away from this one unless you love electric cars and love the Rimac. Then this one might be more worth it. But there's better ones to just go out there and buy. Another one is the Weaponized Angus. This one is actually it's actually worth it, which might be funny because you might think, why is it worth it? The Ignis is actually a very good car. It's very quick. It has a very good handling. It looks good. It has good customization. Everything about this car is good. It has HSW and it has a machine gun on top. Now, when it comes to machine gun, people might think, well, it's a machine gun on the top of a car. Why is it good? You can actually control it with the right stick. You can use it and move around, and it's a very fast firing machine gun and does very good damage. So this is actually a car that is really worth it, as it combines the speed, handling, and overall good performance of the Ignis and puts a machine gun on top. 4.5 mil is a pretty hefty price, but I do recommend buying one if you don't already have one and you have the money to buy one and you pretty much already have other vehicles that are good and beneficial to you. Another one is the Karen S95. Obviously, it looks like a BRZ or GR86 and whatnot. It's almost 2 mil. and it has HSW. This was one of the best performing HSWs when it first came out. This car is actually free if you when you upgrade, if I'm not mistaken. I know I got it for free when I upgraded to Extended and Enhanced. But I've heard people say that it actually charges you, so I don't know about that. Let me know in the comments down below if you're on PC and you just moved to next gen kind of GTA, whatever it's called, Extended, Expansed, whatever, and if you had to pay for this one, because I know I didn't and I got HSW on it for free. But let me know kind of the situation with this one if you dealt with it. And then we got the Arbiter GT. This one has kind of weird handling. Obviously, it has the good speed because it is indeed an HSW car. I don't really recommend buying this one. You should really just stay away from it unless you like the look and whatnot. But this isn't really one of the better performing HSW cars, and the handling isn't really there. And then the last one is the Astra Custom, which is obviously a more wide body one of the Astra, and it has HSW, and this is actually one of the better ones that PC got. It actually has very good performance. Obviously, it's HSW. I think it looks really cool. I think it's a pretty cool looking car. It's one of the better performing SUVs, and on top of that, it has good handling and good top speed. The only downside really to it is it has pretty bad brakes. But if you kind of know when to brake and know how to brake good, it shouldn't be that much of a problem. But keep in mind, it does have pretty bad brakes, but this one is one of the better ones that was added. So that will do it for this video. Let me know down in the comments what ones you'll be picking up, what ones you've already picked up. If you're on PC, any new HSW cars you have got. And let me know overall just your opinion on kind of what is worth it and what is not, and any kind of flaws that you might think I missed. If you guys are new here, I really appreciate it if you hit that subscribe button. It means a lot to me. If you guys like this video, hit that like button. If you didn't enjoy, hit that dislike button. Like I said, comment down below, and I'll catch you guys in the next video. Peace out.